Good morning guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I was inspired to share with you a few of my holy grail perfumes, and this is because I haven't really done a favorites video in a while or a top 10s in a while, and I did do a declutter yesterday where I shared with you a few perfumes I had let go of over the past few months. So to me this was very natural, and actually that wasn't even all the perfumes I've let go of, it was just what I could remember, and I like to keep you guys updated because that's part of the journey. I like to keep you in the loop. I like to share with you when my feelings change about a perfume, or if I've actually worn it, or how I find it after a couple of months. And the downside of doing declutters for me is that there's always a little bit of negative backlash. I love declutters. Declutters are one of my absolute favorite types of videos to watch, and they're also one of my favorite types to make because decluttering gives me life. I'm rejuvenated by a declutter because I'm a minimalist at heart, so it feels really good to me to let go of unnecessary items so that I can hone in on my favorite favorites. However, not everybody feels that way. Some people like to collect, some people can't understand why you would let go of a perfume, even if it's a great perfume. And anyway, there's always a little bit of negative backlash that comes from doing declutters, and I wanted to balance off sort of the negativity of a declutter from yesterday, even though I don't think it's really negative, but some people do, with a positive video. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my holy grail perfumes. So these are perfumes that I have loved consistently and worn consistently since day one. They never really leave my top favorite list. And also just to show you guys that I do actually have some consistency. Like when I decide a perfume is a lifer for me, or when a perfume becomes a lifer for me, it really does stay a lifer. It's not like I eventually get sick of all of my perfumes or eventually change my mind about all of them. My ultimate goal is to eventually get down to my top 20 or 30 for life. That is my ultimate goal. So anyway, I'm going to choose a few perfumes to share with you that are on this lifer list. So if this is your first time on my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Olympea, and on this channel we talk mostly about perfume. So if you like that and you also like decluttering and home decor and living a simple, happy life, then make sure to head on down and hit the subscribe button. And let's just jump right in. Okay, so by the way, for those of you who are going to ask, I am wearing a lilac colored nail polish today. When I was in the store the other day smelling perfumes, the girl who was helping me out had this beautiful purple color on her nails, and it's usually not what I would go for, but I felt like going lilac for some reason. And this one, I can't remember the exact name, but it's from Sally Hansen's Insta-Dry, and you'll know it when you see it because it's the lilac one. Okay, so let's start off with one that didn't come into my collection until a little bit later, and I think I picked this one up in August or September of last year. And this is Van Cleef & Arpels Orchid. So some of these fragrances that I'm going to talk about will be a little bit repetitive because obviously if they're lifer perfumes or ones that I have loved for a long time, I've probably featured them a few times, but if something's really good, it's worth talking about more than once, right? So this is Van Cleef & Arpels Orchid. First of all, I do want to mention how much I absolutely love the Van Cleef & Arpels bottles. They are so pretty and so classy. I love the little tassel that they have. I love the label. The bottles themselves are just really beautiful. So if you could only feature a few fragrances in your collection, I think Van Cleef & Arpels is a great way to go. This was a blind purchase for myself and I absolutely love it. It is a vanilla fragrance, but it also has, I think, a little bit of cacao, and I think it also has either some orange or some dried fruits in it. And it really almost gives me a little bit of a Christmas orange kind of a vibe, like the chocolate Christmas oranges that you get at the holidays, which I'm not a fan of, by the way. I don't really like the chocolatey orange scent, but in here it really works because it's got that warm vanilla and it just works so well together. And this is honestly one of the most comforting, cozy, enjoyable vanillas I've ever smelled. It isn't a complete beast, but some people find it weak. I don't find it weak at all. I would say this is like moderate to long lasting on me. So you can see I've put a little bit of a dent in this, and I would like to put more of a dent in it, which is why I'm trying to declutter some of my collection because I don't want these things to go bad. They're expensive and they're beautiful fragrances and they should be worn. So I love this one. This is one that I just really like it. My first blind buy from Van Cleef & Arpels and turned out to be a winner. So that's our first one. Okay, our next one is going to be no surprise if you watch my channel, Alien from Mugler. Of course, he had to be, or she had to be on this list because I love this perfume and I have loved it since day one. And yeah, this is probably one of my most consistently raved about perfumes. I can't see myself ever falling out of love with this perfume or any of the ones I'm about to mention. Never say never, because stranger things have happened, of course. Your nose changes sometimes, but I still love Alien so much. So of course, this is a amber jasmine woody fragrance. And I still love it just as much today as I did a year ago. I still love this perfume so much. I haven't worn it as much lately because I do get new perfumes every month. I'm always trying new perfumes out. But this definitely would be on my top list. This one makes me feel very sexy, very feminine, very bold, very confident. It has pretty good performance. This isn't as rich or as bold as the first Alien that ever came out. I wish I would have been a perfume person back then, because what I wouldn't give to have like the original formulation. If anybody knows how I can get an original formulation Alien, or if you have one I can buy from you, please let me know. But yeah, this is just incredible, and I still love it just as much today as I did when I first fell in love with it. So that is Alien. The next one is Miss Dior Eau de Parfum from Christian Dior. So this one has been in my collection longer than many of the ones I have currently. About a year and a half ago, when I wasn't really into perfumes as much as I am now, and I wasn't collecting by any means, I only had 2 or 3 perfumes. This was one of them. So when I bought this one, this was at the time the most prestigious, high-end, one of the more expensive perfumes I had in my collection. And every time I wore it, it made me feel like $1 million basically. Made me feel very confident, very pretty, very sophisticated, and it still has that vibe about it. There's something about this perfume that is just very classy and very sophisticated smelling. So this is an orange patchouli and rose scent. It's a sweet patchouli rose fragrance, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I still love this one just as much today as I did when I first got it. I haven't worn it as much. You can tell, I think every time I share it in a video, the juice is getting a little darker and a little darker, which happens over time. But there is a pretty good sized dint in it. And again, I would like to finish this bottle up. I would like to actually see it go to the bottom, because I think that's very satisfying when you actually use up a perfume. Again, that's why I constantly try to hone in and declutter, because I do eventually want to get down to those top 20 or 30 for life, and this is definitely one of those ones. I'm a little tired of it at this point. Like, to be honest, I haven't worn this in a really long time, but it still is one of those perfect perfumes, you know? It's just like your ideal perfume. Perfect for daytime, very versatile, would make a great date night scent. I like wearing this for day dates, so when I'm putting on a nice dress and going out for brunch with my partner, or we're spending the day together, that's when I really like to wear this one. I still think this is one of the more prestigious in my collection for some reason. I also really, really like the bottles, of course. The bottles are stunning. So that is Miss Dior Eau de Parfum. The next one is one of my holy grail for life perfumes. As you guys know, if you watch my channel, Viktor&Rolf Flowerbomb. Sorry, this is really repetitive, but I did tell you that these are some of my most consistently loved perfumes. So if you watch my channel, I apologize. If you're new here, I will let you know the story. Basically, I have had this perfume for a very long time in my collection. This is the one I was wearing when I met my partner. At the time, I was a signature scent kind of girl. I did not have multiple perfumes. This was the only perfume I had in my collection, and I went through pretty much a whole bottle of it. This is my second bottle, and I love it. So this one has a lot of really good memories for me. Again, it's not one that I wear all the time these days. I just have so many new perfumes, but this is so good. It's just such a good perfume, and I know it is a little bit overpopular and so many people have it, and it's kind of old at this point. It's not new news anymore, but I still really like it. So this one is a floral fragrance. It's very sweet. It smells like there would be some sort of sweet gourmand notes, but there really isn't. There is a little bit of tea, there's a lot of floral notes, and I believe there's also patchouli in here as well. And it just works. It's just such a unique, beautiful scent. And this one will forever remain, I think, in my collection. Like, never say never, of course, but I honestly cannot imagine myself getting rid of this one. Still is perfect for date nights. You cannot go wrong. This one goes over so well. My boyfriend loves it on me. And I think it's just very pretty and feminine and beautiful. So Viktor&Rolf Flowerbomb. The The next perfume is not one that I've had forever, but this is one that has quickly kind of shot up to my top for life type of list, and this is Mon Guerlain Intense. So of course I also have the original Mon Guerlain. I love them both. Both of them are incredible. I have had other flankers that I have let go of in favor of this one and the original, and I can't decide which I like better. I think they both have a time and a place. The original Mon Guerlain is more suitable for sort of everyday, where the Intense one I like more for sort of intimate date night occasions. So this is very similar to the original. This is a vanilla lavender perfume, but it also has lots of other notes in there. It's a beautiful, elegant, sophisticated, feminine, classy perfume, but it has a sexiness to it for sure. There is an overdose of vanilla and tonka bean in here. I have been telling you guys how much I love this for a really long time now. I think this was a blind buy. Yeah, this was a blind buy. I think a year ago already, I actually bought this one, and it was an absolute love at first sniff. To me, it almost smells like there is chocolate in here, not dark chocolate or like chocolate, but like white chocolate. So it almost has like that creamy gourmandy touch, and it's just very feminine and beautiful. And this one, you guys, I get such good feedback when I wear it around my partner. This is one of those fragrances that when he puts his arms around you to hug you, he will stick his neck in just a little bit closer to get a smell. It just smells so good. It's comforting and beautiful and feminine. It's the perfect fragrance, really. So yeah, this one and Mon Guerlain, the original, I hope they never reformulate them. If they ever do, I will be getting backup bottles for sure, because I never want to be without this scent. It's just beautiful. So that is Mon Guerlain Intense. The next one that I would say I've had in my collection for the longest is Olympea from Paco Rabanne. So this one, I would have to say it's probably not the classiest perfume out there. It's probably not the most sophisticated in hindsight. When I first smelt it, I think I thought it was the be all end all. Now that I've smelt so many other perfumes, I think I have other more sophisticated sexy perfumes, but when I first smelled this one, I thought it was the sexiest thing on the planet, and I still really, really love it. So this is a salty vanilla perfume, but I think there's also some ginger in here. There's something in here that gives it a freshness. It's a very strong, kind of intoxicating fragrance. You do not need very much of this. It's unique. I think there's also some salt in here. Oh yeah, there's salt, obviously. It's a salty vanilla. And yeah, this one is one of my boyfriend's favorites as well. Really good for date nights. You can see there is a pretty good sized dint. I really enjoy this one for the summertime, and I'm actually just going to take the lid off. I haven't smelt it in a while. Yeah, I still love this one, you guys. This one I used to tell you was like an eye roller for me. Like every time I smelt it, my eyes rolled back in my head. I just thought it was so good. I'm no longer really rolling my eyes at it in a good way, but it still smells so good. I still really like it. It is very strong. It can be headache inducing if you put too much, but yeah, I have to say this is still a love for me. Have not fallen out of love with this one. I have had the Intense version, I have had the Aqua, and both of those have left in favor of this one. So this is the one that I prefer, and yeah, I think I'll keep that one for quite a long time. And I think if I ran out of that one, I think I'd buy another one. And the second last one is Montale Chocolate Greedy. So again, this one is a little bit newer to my collection, but I wanted to share one with you guys that was a little newer, but that kind of was one I fell in love with and has consistently stayed a favorite, and I really, really enjoy wearing it. So that's a key for me. I have to enjoy wearing the perfume. It's like I've told you guys, it's not enough for me to think it's beautiful. I also have to enjoy wearing it. If I don't, there's no place for it. It's pointless to me. So this is Chocolate Greedy. This is a powdery chocolate, somewhat vanilla scent. It does have a little bit of dried fruits in there as well. I think they mentioned there's also coffee in here. I don't really pick up much of the coffee. This is the only Montale fragrance I currently have in my collection. I've smelt quite a few, but I haven't smelt all of them. But I really, really thoroughly enjoy wearing this perfume. On paper, I don't really care for it. Like when I first smelt it on paper, all I could think about was like hot chocolate powder, cake batter, but this one for me is very enjoyable to wear. It is just soft and feminine and powdery and enjoyable and makes you smell delectable and makes you smell good. It's also unique, I think, because there's not that many powdery chocolate fragrances running around out there. I've never smelled this on anybody. I really liked this in the fall winter. That for me was when it really shone. I don't think I would wear this in the spring summer. I think it's a little too heavy for spring summer. Amazing longevity, you guys, and there's something about the dry down of this when it catches in your hair, and when you like flip your ponytail or you bend over to pick something up and you catch a whiff of this, it's just a really enjoyable perfume to wear. It's sweet, chocolatey, powdery, vanilla, just really, really nice. So that is Montale Chocolate Greedy. And the last one, you guys knew there was going to be a Chanel in here, of course. I love Chanel. Chanel has actually been probably my reigning favorite house since day one. I love Chanel. So this is one of my favorite Chanels. There's numerous ones I could have put in this list. And of course, there's a lot of other perfumes that I didn't include that are also kind of lifers for me. You guys probably know what some of those are if you watch my channel, but this is Chanel Chance Eau de Toilette. I love this one. I love the Eau Fraiche. I love the Eau de Parfum. All three of those ones to me, I also love the Eau Vive. All three of those ones to me are good enough to be lifers. So this one smells very similar to the original Eau de Parfum, except it's a little bit more of a citrusy, fruitier take on the original. It's a little bit more light, a little bit more youthful, I think too. Like if Chanel Chance, the original, is too much for you and a little bit too dated, this one is a little bit more modern, I think. And I just love this. I love the way it smells. I don't think there's anything classier than Chanel Chance. I think that one tops my list in terms of if I want to smell rich, if I want to smell sophisticated, if I want to be confident and just smell good. There's also a bit of a sexiness to it. Yeah, love this one. A little bit of a dint. I actually have a fairly good sized dint in a lot of my Chanel perfumes, and this one for sure is a lifer. This is like my ideal grab and go summertime scent. If I don't know what to wear and I want to smell good and it's a hot day, this is a great one. This one and Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche or Eau Vive would also be good, although I don't have Vive anymore, but I'm kind of wishing I didn't get rid of Eau Vive because I still really like it. So yeah, that is the last one on this list. So you guys, those are just a few of the perfumes that I would consider to be sort of lifer fragrances. How many do I have here? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, so this is 8 perfumes, and obviously I do want to get down my collection eventually to like 20 or 30. I think that these ones probably would be on it. The only one that I'm thinking might one day leave potentially could be Paco Rabanne Olympea, only because it is quite strong and sometimes I find it to be a little headache inducing depending if I spray too much. But otherwise, all of the other ones are just so very enjoyable to me, and I cannot imagine not loving them. I cannot imagine not having them. And yeah, so that is it for today's video. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this positive, happy lifer perfume video. And if you haven't already, I would love if you would consider heading over and following me on Instagram. That is where I also sell a lot of my perfumes. So if you are ever looking for perfumes I have decluttered, Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me. And I will see you guys all very soon. Bye for now.